shows salt sensitivity on blood pressure. It's very important to know how blood pressure is regulated in our body. The major hormonal system controlling blood pressure is the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or RAAS for short. Renin is an enzyme secreted from the juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney. Renin acts on a large molecule called angiotensinogen to create a small, biologically inactive peptide, angiotensin-1. This molecule is converted by another enzyme, angiotensin converting enzyme, or ACE for short, into an even smaller peptide, angiotensin-2, which constricts blood vessels and retains salt and water in the kidneys, increasing blood pressure. Angiotensin-2 also stimulates the secretion of a steroid hormone, aldosterone, from the adrenal glands, leading to further salt retention and blood vessel constriction, and also raising blood pressure. Altogether, the RAAS is the most potent hormonal system regulating blood pressure and underlying hypertension.
You might have heard about someone being on a drug called an ACE inhibitor. This drug helps to lower blood pressure by interrupting the activity of angiotensin converting enzyme to convert biologically inactive angiotensin-1 to a vasoconstrictor and salt-retaining hormone, angiotensin-2, thus lowering blood pressure. ACE inhibitors are first-line drugs for the treatment of hypertension.
So that was a lot of information. Here's a quick summary. If you have low blood pressure, then angiotensinogen and renin acting together will produce angiotensin-1. Angiotensin-1 and ACE act together to produce angiotensin-2. Angiotensin-2 stimulates the release of aldosterone. Jasmine, would you like to explain more about the role of angiotensin-2 in the regulation of blood pressure?
Of course I would. The three actions of angiotensin-2, vasoconstriction, salt and water retention, and the secretion of aldosterone, are mediated by the same receptor. The angiotensin-1 receptor, there is also an angiotensin-2 receptor, to which angiotensin-2 binds. The angiotensin-2 receptor is found mostly in the kidney's proximal tubule and has the opposite effect of angiotensin-1 receptor. That is, it promotes salt excretion and vasodilation. Do you want to explain what happens as a result of these effects, Nicole?
Sure. So when sodium is absorbed from the kidneys, it also carries water with the sodium, resulting in an increase in the volume of blood. This in turn raises blood pressure. This is because of the extra blood volume. When blood pressure increases, it has inhibitory effects on the secretion of renin from the juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney to stop the sequence we talked about earlier, so blood pressure doesn't go up anymore. There are many other processes involved in the regulation of blood pressure.
We will discuss more about blood pressure later, but for our next segment, we will look at another system in the kidneys, the dopamine system. Stay tuned.